I know you have watched hundreds of videos on how to get clients, but I'm going to tell you today what you have to do when you lose a client. Because I have also made a lot of videos on how to get clients, how to acquire clients, how to retain those clients. But this is one thing that I have not seen many people discussing, and I think you should know what you have to do, because when you lose a client, you just don't lose a client. You lose a little bit of your self confidence. You start doubting your skill set. You think that you are not good enough. And there are a lot of negative thoughts that just start popping up once you are fired from a particular thing. Because in India, and especially in the freelancing industry, it is still in the early stage. This is not mainstream yet. It is going to be mainstream in the next 4 or 5 years. That's for sure. This is the right time to start freelancing. But if you are doing it, then you need to know how you have to deal with losing a client. Because you have to know the difference on being fired because of your mistake and being fired because the company can't hold their end of the bargain. There is a big difference in it. Every time when you are fired or a client leaves you, it's not because that you did something specifically. In most of the cases, it's their end because they are not able to manage their finances. They planned out something different and things are completely turning out in a opposite direction. And that's the reason that you get fired. But you take it all on you because like this is not your mistake. If you are somebody who has a little bit of integrity, who works honestly and who actually puts in 100% to a particular project, you are bound to feel that way. And there is nothing wrong with it. But I'm telling you what you have to do in order to be successful again in getting new clients and keep your business running. So listen to me very carefully. Number one thing, find out what was the reason that your client left. Now there are only two possibilities. Number one is that you were actually not enjoying and you were not delivering the good results and they fired you because of that. Number two is you did everything good. There was everything all sorted from your end. You were giving your 100%. You were actually going a step ahead and helping them outside your key responsibility areas, and yet they decided that they are not going to continue with you. In this case, this is not your fault. In the first case, yes, it is your fault. So first, sit down with a notepad, pen and paper, your Google Notes, Google Keep, wherever you write, just write down what was the reason that your contract was terminated, that you had to let go the client or the client had to let go you. What was the reason? Now, once you know the reason, after that, you need to figure out what you could have done to avoid that particular thing from happening. Because if it is your mistake, then definitely you need to work upon it and you need to make sure you rectify it so that it doesn't happen in the future. Because if you're working with a client who is paying you $500 now, down the line, if you do everything good, there are going to be clients who are going to pay you $1,000, $2,000, or even $5,000. So the mistakes that you make for a $500 client, you cannot even take a slight this much chance to make it for a client who is paying you $5,000, because down the you have to see the broader picture. If you are not seeing the broader picture and you are just in here for quick money, you are in the wrong field, my friend. You have to look at the bigger picture, like where would you be doing this particular thing down the line after 5 years? What is it that you are going to be doing and how you think that things are going to play out? And it's not necessary everything is going to turn out your way, but you should know what you actually have to do, what you actually want to see yourself after 5 years. So rectify the mistake if it was from your end. And if you come up to the conclusion that I did everything from my particular end, because see, in service-based industry, what happens is that you think you are doing everything absolutely right, which in 95% cases is yes, you are doing everything right. But in the rest 5% cases, you can make a mistake because you are human and you need to find out that. And you can be fired for your mistakes. That's the one thing that you need to get straight in your head, like listen from your ear and just put this in between your head, that you can be fired for the mistakes that you make. And those mistakes, then they teach you a lesson so that you do not make those mistakes again. Number one thing is sitting down and figuring out what went wrong. Second thing is sit down. Once you figured out what went wrong, what you could have done, then think about it. What you could have done to avoid that particular thing, so that in order you do not make the same mistake again. Now, if you were fired because of the client's end, then that is not your fault. It was from the client's end that they weren't able to hold the bargain and they just let you go because of some reasons. And clients, they have literally a lot of reason. Financial crunches, they think that someone else can do it for a cheaper rate, because most of the clients, whether domestic or international, they are of the same mindset that if they can get the work done at a lower rate, they will go to the cheaper guy because they are not looking at the results, they are not looking at the value proposition, they are looking at the financial aspect. And the people who actually try to cut costs in the shorter run, in the long run they actually make more expenses on this particular thing, because rather than paying you $3,000 for a particular job, they are going to hire 10 different people for $500, because they, in the short run it looks cheaper, like okay, one is asking for $3,000, one is asking for 500, so we will go with the 500 one, we will save 6 times the money. But that's not how it works. So you have to take care of that. After that, if it was from the client's end, you need to get this thing into your main conscious and subconscious that you are actually good at what you do. You do not have to go down into that rabbit hole that maybe I am not good enough, I did this, I did that. See, staying happy is actually difficult and being sad is actually very easy. So when it says that okay, be happy, anyone says that okay, you have to be happy, find joy in life, that's difficult. Being sad is very easy. Put just one sad song and you will think that you are the most ugliest, worst, and literally a person with no meaning in life. You are literally far behind the main crowd, you are missing out on a lot of stuff, and you're pathetic. You will feel like that. That's the power of negativity, that it can actually attack you very quickly. So you have to look at the positives of you, because whatever you feed your mind and your body about yourself, that's actually how you shape yourself. If you are thinking I'm not good at one particular thing, no matter what you do, you can't be good at that particular thing. If I wouldn't have opened up this camera, held this mic, built this setup and started recording, and I just kept on thinking that I am bad at video, I can't do video content, then I couldn't have done any of it. So right now we have crossed 800 subscribers, and yeah, that's a good feat. Now earlier I used to complain that the sub count is increasing as it should, but now I have made peace with it. Whatever the kind of info I am providing, a handful of people can absorb it. It is not for the majority. So I realize this now, that my content is not for the majority, it's for the niche audience. And I do not think I'm gonna actually go with the top of funnel, bottom of funnel and all that kind of stuff, because if 10 people are listening to me and they are implementing it, my purpose is served. After you find out all the causes, whatever has happened, you console yourself that okay, you are good at what you do, then it comes to start applying again. And I have told you initially a lot of times in the last 2 years that you should always send one cold email every day. If not every day, at least in a month, you should reach out to 15 new potential business partners, so that if somebody leaves you, you have clients in the pipeline. Now, you guys, what is the problem with you guys is that you have a lot of questions without doing a particular thing. You need that surety from me that whatever I'm telling you and whatever that you are going to do is going to work out. Dear, that's not how it works. You have to listen to me, you have to try what I'm saying, and then you have to work it out for yourself. You have to modify it according to your needs. It is not that whatever I am telling you, you do it, you will get results straight away. You have your own unique element. You are a unique identity. You are a whole different person than me. Your way of thinking, your way of operating, your way of executing, your way of planning, organizing, directing is all different from me. I am me, you are you. So do not think that whatever worked for me is going to work out for you without you adding your own unique element into it. You have to add your unique element into it. And that's the reason that people don't like me that much, because I tell you this thing real straight up. If I tell you that, okay, you will make 30,000 a month if you join me, you guys would be ready to pay me 10, 15, 20,000 a month, because you know that, okay, we are going to make that much kind of money. But that's not a surety. If I take in 100 people, I know only 5 are going to make money. Rest 95, they just don't have it in them. So you have to make your mind in that order that if something wrong happens, that's your responsibility. Even if it was the client's fault and you do not have any other client in the pipeline, that's your goddamn problem. So yeah, that is pretty much it. You need to feed yourself good information about your own self. Now let that sink in.